Hey, Tom. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Good man.
We're here with Tom Vandal of Unknown Labs, and we're starting this project to as a startup. This is a concept that I developed in my mind over the years, and so Tom is instrumental in helping us get this launched and generating active users and getting the word out about this new technology. And so today we're kind of reviewing, it's the beginning stages. We are discussing names, we're discussing strategy, we're discussing all sorts of different, as we're building this business, we want to put all these foundational pieces in place. And so Tom is very good at helping us kind of put our mind around each of these steps. So
that's correct.
And so we've started off with this questionnaire, and in the questionnaire, it's there's a lot of questions as to, and this helps you to kind of get an idea as to what I'm thinking. Is that correct?
The mindset of the questionnaire is that it's hopefully a humble mindset that we're not smarter than our client.
I like that.
Yeah, our client has been working on their project, on their business, on their baby. It could be weeks, it could be years.
Yeah.
So the amount of thought and process that you've already gone through, we're trying to speed up that process by hopefully asking a few smart questions. And for us to do like a speed dash through as much of information that you might have already thought about, what's, just in general, what's the goal? How in the past few years has your goal or your idea changed, which I'm sure it has. Maybe not. We'll get to that. Another interesting thing is that sometimes the CEO thinks different than the CTO, thinks different than the CMO, thinks that, everybody in a company has a point of view on things. And yes, people might be having a lot of meetings, having a lot of conversations, sharing a lot of thoughts. Most of the time what we see, if you give a questionnaire with all these questions to individuals and you don't allow them to see the answers, then when you can review them, you also see how people within the company have a different point of view. And not like you want to put them up against each other, but at least now we can more intelligently start asking questions to see, okay, what is the actual reality that lives in the company? If we want to craft a story, which is why we're here, craft the right story, knowing who the competitors are, knowing how to position the brand, the product, we want to make sure that it's built on realities. And those realities we find from the client. We don't pull a rabbit out of our hat. That's not how it works. The answers are in there. Right. The answers are in you.
Yeah, I like that because, I've been working on this for like 4 years, since 2016. Yeah. And it's interesting because as you're saying this, it's been such a slow process because I haven't had anybody like pull it out of me and then go, okay, now let's move on to the next step. I kind of get stuck on certain things, and so it's helpful that I have a company like Unknown Labs to help me move my process along, and have a partner in the process.
The reason also why that happens is, we have clients that have been in business for 25 years, they've been in business for 50 years, and they even say the same thing as you. Might surprise you, but they're just not in marketing. Yeah. They're just not in branding. That's not their business. You're currently in the mindset of building a great product. My other client is in the mindset of providing a great service. Yes, of course, he's going to think about how to communicate about it, but he never puts all of those questions in one document and really sits down to think about all these aspects of where am I going? Who are my competitors? Right. How have I changed? What are the key things that I need to retain or focus on to get to where, some people just come to us and they notice finally that They've completely outgrown any of the communications or anything because they've just not been focused on it, So
That's so. It's almost like it's almost like giving birth. Like the baby's been cooking for a long time,
Yeah.
but I need
It's totally
I need the OB doctor to deliver the baby, and that's literally what I feel this project where it's at right now, and handing it over to Unknown Labs and Tom. I feel like I'm in good hands to get this thing to market.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Yeah, we'll do our best to make you happy.
Yeah.
The thing is, what a lot of companies, they promise you the world, and it's almost like you need a great team to come up with these things. No, you don't. You just need somebody who listens.
That's so true, because I've been down that road. I
Yeah.
hired a big company, and there were 15 people at our first conference, and everybody's taking notes.
No. The answer's within you.
It's like,
and what we're good at, I think, is just spotting, either in these questionnaires or like in the first meetings where we're going to go through and whatever. You'll sometimes see me like jump up and say like that, and what that means is. What we're doing now is meeting room. We're in the meeting room. That's meeting room language. It's all like, ooh, it feels very important. But what we're looking for is living room language. You're looking for that thing that you would say to your buddy when you're going to play golf or you're at a bar or whatever. Oh, what are you involved in? And you say that one thing that just flows out of you that you didn't even know was genius.
yeah.
And that stuff is already inside of you. And we're just pretty good at identifying like, yeah, that's not been said before.
Right.
Or that's not been placed in the market or in your field in that way before.
Right.
So,
That's great. So we're so today we've been talking about the name, which we've had a name that we've been using over the last few years. And then you gave us some good thought on, well, did you think of this or did you think of that? How does it roll off your tongue? I mean, how do other people pronounce it? And so how do you, at Unknown Labs, how do you come up with a name? Or what are some things that help you to guide, us as your client to choose the correct name that the world will know us as?
Sure. I don't think I've shown you this before, but in a previous agency I worked, they've had a strategic model, which is kind of like a blueprint to help your clients understand, like, what do I need to do? Where do I go from here? And out of the model that lived in the past at the other company, I kind of came up with something, and it's called Star Brand.
Okay.
It's the belief that if you optimize the 5 points of your star, you're going to lay the blueprint for successful branding. What does that mean?
Okay.
The game. That's your North Star. You're heading north, right? You're heading forward. What is the game that we're going to play?
Okay.
How is this app going to position itself against the other apps? What are you going to promise that's meaningful? The next thing, the claim. This is meeting room language. This is living room language.
Okay.
What are you going to say in the shortest, most poetic form that people are going to be like, I want to try that?
Yeah.
Right? For Nike, this is probably, I would say, knowing that everybody, even each couch potato, has an athlete inside of them.
Yeah.
And to inspire that athlete.
Right.
And the claim is going to be just do it. Here's we decide that we know everybody has an athlete within and we want to motivate them. How are we going to do that? Just do it. Okay. The third component is the fame.
Mm-hmm.
It's the understanding that human beings are visual creatures.
Yeah.
And you don't just communicate in words. You communicate in visuals. So if you want to consistently make this promise, you're going to consistently say, just do it, just do it, just do it. But you're also consistently going to swoosh.
Yeah.
If it's Nike, right? Swoosh, 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 swoosh. For your app, it's the exact same thing. You know, I'm sure at one point there's somebody at Coca-Cola that's going to be like, I'm bored of this red. Sure, dude, give that a try. It's the same thing. It's just consistently make and keep a compelling promise that matters. And now we're getting to your point of the next, the name.
Name, yeah.
So if you go through this process, it also always starts with, what are we about? What are we promising?
Right.
So normally the methodology is you define this first, and then you inspire your name on what you stand for.
Yeah.
Right? But we've already, again, you've been through 4 years of thought. Yeah. I've already heard, and we've already connected on a few sharp notes that are like, life is more than, you know,
right.
than work or a job.
Yeah.
So the game, the claim, the fame, the name, and then the last part is the acclaim. Because we're trying to generate results.
Right.
Now, the acclaim could be your company gets bought by whomever for X million dollars and you're on the cover of Wall Street Journal.
Yeah,
it's damn well possible. If that's not your goal or one of your goals, then we should stop this meeting. But your other goal could be your app is meaningful on an emotional level. It's not just about money. It's not, you're connecting people to do something that is meaningful in their life. It's not just a job. What if tomorrow you're on the cover of Oprah magazine? Or you're on the cover of Time? Right. It's going to be a different headline than when you're on the cover of Wall Street Journal, right? Or you're on the cover of Playboy. Now you're pop culturally relevant. What have you done to get there?
Right.
It's very, it's almost like if you want to define this, you first want to kind of figure out, if I'm on the cover of Oprah magazine, what have I done? How have I connected human beings in a different manner than you can currently be connected by Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, whatever? If you're going to position yourself in there, what are you going to say when you're on that cover?
Right.
You know, so we haven't gone through this, but we've had the conversation about the name just because we have a feeling about it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But going through the questionnaire will at one point end us up with like, this is what we're about. And then you're going to feel, the name just doesn't sit right in this blueprint.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be like, it's perfect.
That's it.
You know, so that's kind of in a nutshell, me trying to be intellectual and intelligent.
No, that is awesome because it just makes so much sense. And that there's a methodology behind all of this.
Yeah.
In my heart of hearts, I've known that there's got to be some method to make this happen.
Yeah.
But I've never known how to get it or how to find that thing that's...
In all honesty, there's a lot of good agencies that all have a methodology, right? I've worked at a few of the best agencies and I've worked with a few of the best thinkers, and that's just how it goes. You know, you pluck a bit of here and there, and then you turn it into a model that you feel like this can help my clients. Right. You know, clients come in here and the first thing is they either like you or they don't. Yeah. But then you present them something, it's like, oh, thank God he actually knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And now, see, this is just a model. This is just a framework. Right. I can't fill it in without, I just need to like, okay, that goes there. That could go there. Yeah. My creative director can design something that goes here. Right. The name then just automatic, I'm just providing, it's like IKEA, build a closet. Yeah. So, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. Got a good idea. That's an important thing that I want to get on camera is, if we start working together, you got to have a good product. Right. Yeah. We can't start communicating if your product is bad or your service is bad, and we're very quickly going to notice that. Yeah. So you've already done a lot of work to the point where I think last time I said, perfection is the enemy of good enough.
Yeah.
You're definitely far beyond good enough now. You're ready. You're ready for
and that's
the world to know about it.
That's been the thing for me is it's not there yet. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. But
it's
now,
human.
And listening to you say that perfection is the enemy of good enough was kind of music to my ears. It's like, okay, it's good enough. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, there's the fire is always going to burn behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're Facebook, the fire is going to keep burning, and you're going to have to come out with your new product and with your new design and with you got to keep buying other companies to stay relevant or to do things that in the past you didn't do. So
maybe
if it's always going to stay just on your phone,
it's worth
the potential is going to be only one individual, and I'm sure you're convinced of the idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So.
Yep.
So maybe just ask me, and we'll edit all this, of course. Like, so where did this concept come from?
Sure.
Like,
I mean, one thing that I'm always very interested in hearing about people that start a conversation was like, how did you come up with this?
Yeah. So I came up with this actually many years ago. Because I'm a dentist, and I wear scrubs. I'll go finish up work and maybe go to Starbucks or something and so people would come up to me and go, well, what do you do? And, my mom needs implants or whatever the conversation was. And do you have, how do I find out about you? Or do you have a business card?
Yep.
I never, ever had a business card on me. And not only that, I have a lot of content on the internet, on YouTube, on my social media pages. I have multiple pages, and I could never hand that over to somebody. First of all, I put a lot of, I call it heart tissue or effort into the creation of that content on YouTube. I spend a lot of time posting and creating content on Instagram or Facebook. But there was no place that I could package it all up in one simple, technology and share it quickly with somebody. And that's where we came up with this concept. And we really have tried to think about every detail so that when I share my identity or my digital identity with that person, they get a quick, really good snapshot of what I'm about according to that profile. So, and it was frustrating to me because I had all this content online, but nobody knew about it. It was just sitting there.
Unless you send somebody an email with 15 links in them.
Exactly.
I'm still doing it, and I'm at trade shows and I see people who, you give them the 5 minutes that they obviously deserve for just being there.
Yeah.
And the method of, the first introduction it needs some real reinvention.
Yeah. And that was where I was like, there's got to be a way to solve this. So I'm excited.
Well, when I heard about the idea, I got it and I thought it was a great idea. But once you see your profile, that's where bells start ringing. Like same thing with my team, like people that have a job. Unfortunately, they'd probably consider their time here the job. But then they are either a social media influencer or they work for a charity or they do other things. And, a few people instantly were already like, oh my God, I can do what?
Yeah.
So
it's
you're onto something.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case. And really it's, because I know it'll help everybody. I mean, it's, if I'm at a trade show for my work, and it's such an easy way to connect and to track the connection so that you can follow up. And not to monetize every connection, but to capitalize and to kind of make every connection even more important.
Yeah, I think it's not even capitalize is an eventuality, right? Yeah. It's maximize. I think the word is, I can open one of my drawers here and I think I should do it. This is what happens with business cards.
Oh my gosh.
This is what happens when you go to a trade show.
That is amazing. And that's what happens. That's what happens.
I mean, I know how to find the people that they're in here somewhere. No, look, this is perfect.
This is beautiful. I love this. I need to take a picture of that because that is truly what we are solving. That is so classic.
Yeah. It's.
I love that.
It's the reality of.
And the thing is, Tom, is every single one of these people has
put a lot of time,
put a lot of time, effort,
Yeah.
and they are, Sergio at the Panaria group, he's invested in this. Like he is,
Yep.
and so.
And the funny thing is,
I don't know anything about Sergio. I don't,
Yeah.
but I could probably pull up something online or on his social media or on his YouTube and really learn about Sergio. But it's so hard to do that. I would never do that. So, and that's how I came up with the idea.
This is the aha moment. But it's so, I know, the funny thing is, I know whose people's cards are in here. But even for me, on the receiving end, it would take me 30 minutes to find.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I feel the same about for example, your iPhone contact list. It's very similar to this situation.
Like you said, it hasn't been innovated.
It hasn't been updated
years.
since the iPhone was launched in 2007, and so that is the other frontier that we are addressing to make it so that your contact list, you have more control over it, So, wow, we are sure excited to work with Unknown Labs.
And happy to have you.
It's going to be a wonderful journey. I look forward to it.
Likewise.
And it's
Thank
a real
you for
pleasure.
your business.
So, all right. Thank you, Tom.
Awesome. Thank you.